So let us see few topics in determinants today. The first topic is area of triangles. How can we use determinants to find area of a triangle? So in this case you will be given 3 points in 2 dimensions. So suppose your points are x1 comma y1, x2 comma y2 and x3 comma y3. So these are the 3 points, right? Okay, and you have to find the area of a triangle which will be formed by, or whose vertices will be these 3 points. Let's say these points are A, B and C. Then what is the area? Area is determinant. First you have to find the determinant. Now what determinant we have to find? So you just place these points as it is here, that is x1 y1, then x2 y2, then x3 y3, right? Now you can find determinant only for a square matrix, right? So there has to be a square matrix. It has 3 rows but only 2 columns. The third column you just add 1, 1 and 1. So this is nothing but a determinant which is using these 3 vertices. The area of this triangle, let's say delta, is equal to half of this determinant. So that is the first application of determinant, right? You can use this to find the area of triangle when you have vertices. Restriction, or you can say limitation, is that these 3 points, the coordinates should be in 2D, right? Okay, next you can use this concept itself to find whether the points are collinear or not. What does that mean? Let's say you have 3 points like this. You can form a triangle, right? So if you are able to form a triangle out of 3 points, 3 given points, let's say this is these are the vertices A, B and C, and if you are able to find, or if you are finding this area, right, what will be that area will not be equal to 0 in this case. But if the points are collinear, right, suppose this is A, B and C, or in any order, and now if you are trying to find out the area which you will get in this case will be equal to 0. So that is how you can even use determinants to check whether 3 given points are collinear or non-collinear. If they are collinear, the area will be equal to 0. If they are not collinear, area won't be equal to 0. You will get a proper area. One more thing, this determinant value can be, it will be a single value, but you may also get negative values. Area won't be negative. So if you are getting negative value, even in that case, you will have to take mod of this, that is the modulus or the absolute value of this. That is, even if you are getting negative value, you will have to take only the magnitude, that is you will have to take the positive value, right? Okay, now let's try to solve few problems based on this. Now solving problem will be very easy. I'll directly move to the problem which will be based on collinearity, or to check whether points are collinear or not. So let's solve a question like that. Okay, the points are A, it is A comma B plus C. Then you have point B, and B is B comma C plus A, and then you have point C, which is C comma A plus B. So these are 3 points. You have to show that these points are collinear. So as I said earlier, if these 3 points are collinear, then the area of the shape formed by joining these 3 points will be 0. So you just find the determinant. Determinant of what? Determinant of A, then B plus C, 1. Then you have B and C plus A, 1. And then you have C, A plus B and 1. Okay, actually if you will find the area of this, or if you find this determinant will be 0. You just have to prove that this determinant is actually equals to 0, right? So I'll leave this to you to solve this problem. If you get any doubt in this problem, then just you can ask me. I'll solve it later. Okay, so these are different types of questions which you can expect from determinants and the area formula, right? Okay, now let's solve one more problem. It says find the equation of line which joins A, which is 1 comma 3, and B, which is 0 comma 0, using determinants, and find K if D, which is K comma 0, right? Find K if D is a point such that area of triangle ABD is 3 square units. Area of triangle ABD is equals to 3 units or 3 square units. Then you have to find what is the value of K, right? So actually the second part we can do very easily. What do you have to do is, in the first part you have to find the equation of line using determinants. Equation of this line using which line? Line AB, using determinants. So how can we find that? Okay, now what is equation of line? In 2D it is relation between x and y, and that relation should be linear relation, right? Now you have to find a similar relation here, and you have to apply the concept of determinant. So how are we going to do it? Okay, now if AB is a line, let us say on AB you also have another point, say that is C, and let's say C is x comma y, right? This is A, which is 1 comma 3, this is B, which is 0 comma 0, and let's say there is another point C, which is x comma y. Now if AB is a straight line and C, which is x comma y, that also lies on the same line, that means A, B and C are collinear points. And if these are collinear points, then the determinant which you will find using the coordinates of A, B and C, that will be equal to 0. Clear? And if I find this determinant which involves these 3 points, then obviously that determinant will have terms of x and y, right? We'll see that. So what will be the determinant, or what determinant we have to find? Determinant 1 comma 3 comma 1, then second point is 0 comma 0 comma 1, and third point is x comma y comma 1. So this determinant has to be 0, right? Obviously which row I should choose? This will be the row which I will choose, right? So this determinant will be equal to 0. Why I'll choose this row? Because there are 2 zeros here. Okay, now this is plus minus plus, so this will be, here I'll have to use minus. Actually you have to equate it to 0, so it doesn't matter, but still. Okay, so you have minus 1 into, now you leave this row and this column, so what is left? 1, 3 and x comma y, that is equal to 0. That means minus y minus of minus 3x, that is plus 3x, is equals to 0. So what is the equation? Equation is 3x minus y is equals to 0. This is the answer for the first part. That is 3x minus y equals to 0, or 3x is equals to y, or y is equals to 3x. That was the first part. Okay, next we have to find the value of k, so that the area of the triangle, value of k, so that area of triangle ABD, where D is k comma 0, is 3. So what is area of ABD? It will be half into this determinant, where first point is A, so let's write it as 1 3 1. Second is B, so B is 0 0 and 1. Third is D, so that is K 0 and 1. Okay, so instead of x and y, you have this k and 0. Now this area has to be equal to plus or minus, sorry, it has to be equal to 3, but this determinant can be anything. It can be even plus 3 or minus 3. So just substitute that, or equate it equals to plus or minus 3, and now you just have to solve this, right? So what is the determinant? Determinant is half into this one, this is actually minus, right? And after that the determinant which is left, so that is 1 3 k 0. So 1 3 k 0, this should be equal to plus or minus 3. So that is there is minus 1 here, so minus half, or you can say this determinant, which is actually minus 3k, this determinant is 0 minus 3k, that is minus 3k into minus, so that will be plus, into 1 by 2, that is equals to plus or minus 3. That means k is equals to plus or minus 2. So k will be equals to plus or minus 2. So this is how you can solve such problems. So as you have seen, the problem was of determinant, chapter is determinant, but we are getting questions, or we are actually able to solve problems even from coordinate geometry. Okay, so that was about determinant and its application to find area of triangle. And because we know area of triangle, the formula for that, so that's why we are using the same concept to check whether 3 points are collinear or not. So what we have to do there is, we just have to see whether the determinant is 0 or not. If determinant is 0, then the points are collinear. Okay, now let's move to the next topic. Next topic is about two things, that is minor and cofactor. So these are two terms or two concepts related to a determinant, right? So if your determinant, say delta, is equals to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9, right? So this determinant has different values. These elements which you see here, right, they belong to a row or column, they belong to a particular row and column. So for example, this element, every element is actually given as a I j, where I represents what? Row. And what does j represent? It represents column, right? So I and j represent those two things. Now what is minor? So minor is represented as mij. Minor will be represented as mij. right? So that means for every element aij you can actually find mij. That is nothing but that particular row and column, that is ith row and jth column. You remove that and whatever is left, determinant of that is nothing but mij. So for example, here in this case, if I have to find minor element of 6, so the element is here 6. If I have to find minor of this, so 6 is actually second row and third column, right? So I have to eliminate second row and third column. Then what will I get? I'll get, so in this case, if I have to find minor of 6, so minor of 6 is nothing but m2, that is second row, and 3, that is third column. So I have to find m2 3. This is what I have to find. So what do I have to do? Second row and third column you remove. So what is left? 1, 2, 7 and 8. Determinant of this determinant is nothing but m2 3. So that is equals to 8 minus 14, which is equals to minus 6. So that is the minor. Okay, so you just have to remove row 2, column 3, and you find the determinant of whatever is left, that is called the minor. Okay, so that was about minor. You can find minors like this for different elements. Suppose now if I have to find minor of third row and second column, so now what do I have to do? I have to remove third row 7, 8, 9, second column 2, 5, 8. So what is left? 1, 3, 4, 6. So 1, 3, 4 and 6. So this is equals to 6 minus 12, that is also equals to minus 6. It's just a coincidence that both were minus 6. It's not like always you will get minus 6, right? So that is how you find the minus. Okay, now coming to the cofactors. Cofactor is very simple. It's actually, for example, here itself, if you know that what is minor of 2, 3, right? That was minus 6. So if you have to find cofactor of Cij, for that you should know what is minor. So if you know that minor is Mij, then first you use that Mij, and then you will be either multiplying it by minus 1 or plus 1. That is, you will be taking negative value of this or positive value of Mij, depending on the position of the element for which you are finding the cofactor. For example, in this case 2 and 3, so this is second row and third column, and we know the alternate signs, right? So if this is plus, this is negative, plus, negative, plus, negative. So here you will have to take negative of that. That is, whatever you have got minus 6. So this will be minus of minus 6, which is equals to plus 6. Remember, just you have to multiply it by minus 1 or plus 1. You don't have to multiply it by anything else, right? So if I have to summarize, I'll say Cij is equal to minus 1 to the power I plus j into Mij. That means what? That means if you want to find cofactor, you must know how to find minor. So find the minor and then minus 1 to the power I plus j, where I is the row number and j is the column number. It's simple. Actually, here you can see, you can observe one more thing. Say 2 and 3. These positions, right? So if it is a 3 cross 3 matrix, it is like this. Right? And so this is negative. I hope this is clear. Okay, now where you are getting positives, so here it is first row, first column. This is first row, third column. This is second row, second column. This is third row, first column. This is third row, third column. So if you observe this carefully, I and j, the sum of I and j is actually, in all these cases, it is even. And that's why they are positive. So minus 1 to the power even number will give you what? It will give you plus 1. And minus 1 to the power odd number will give you what? Minus 1. So that's why here we have done the same thing. So if it is 2 plus 3, 5, it will give you minus 1. And that position is also negative. Right? And if it is 2, 2. So 2 plus 2 will be what? 4. 4 is even. Even 1 minus 1 to the power even is positive. So see, 2 plus 2 is 4. This position is actually positive position. Right? So there you don't have to change the sign. Only you have to change the sign if it is being multiplied by minus 1. That is clear. So this is about minor and cofactor. So you can be asked to find cofactors of different elements, or maybe in some questions you will see that you will have to find cofactors for all the positions. Anyways, now you must see here, observe here something, that is, if you are finding, say, minors and cofactors along a particular row or column, that means suppose I am doing cofactor of, I am finding cofactor for which I need to find minor as well. So suppose it is cof C21, that is second row and first column, then second row and second column, then second row and third column, right? And then, so what did you get? You actually got cofactor of this, right? Cofactor of this. So minus is included there, plus is included there, and minus is included there because we have already added the, it's already cofactor. Cofactor already considers the sign, whether it is negative or positive, whether it has to be added or subtracted. Okay. Now if I just multiply it by 4, here C21 by 4, that means A21, small a represents the element, right? Plus A22 plus A23. Then what will I get? It won't be, I mean, it will be what? It will be the determinant, right? So this determinant can actually be written in form of minors and cofactors. How? If you choose the row or column, any one particular row or one particular column, then this is equal to sigma of Aij into Cij. Aij into A21 into C21, A22 into C22, A23 into C23. So this you just have to add all these, but only j should change from 1 to n, not I. I should remain fixed. That means you will be doing only along one row, or you will be doing only along one column. So this can be equal to this, or sigma, again I can change from 1 to n and j is fixed, right? So it will be A Ij C Ij. So in this case j is fixed, that means you have fixed the column. So now you are expanding column wise. So this is delta, which is nothing but determinant in two different forms, or expanding along row or expanding along particular column using cofactors, right? So the only thing which was missing here to find determinant was this term, right? The element at that particular location. So we just multiplied it by that element and we have got the determinant. So this is about the minor and the cofactor. Now in your exercise, the next exercise, you will have simple questions to find minors and cofactors. So that is also a very simple exercise. Just go through that and let me know if you are able to understand or not. If not, then what is your problem? Just send that as well. Okay, then we'll look into that. Okay, moving to the next part or the next topic. So the next topic is about the adjoint. So we'll do till adjoint today, and then the application of adjoint is actually in finding the inverse. So that we'll do later. Actually, finding inverse is very simple. So let's see if we are able to do it today itself. I'll do that. Okay, so the next topic, as I said, is adjoint of a matrix. Okay, so we have already seen what is cofactor. Cofactor, just like I have represented cofactors as Cij in some books. In your NCERT book, it is also represented as Aij. So that is nothing but the cofactors. Okay, so don't get confused. Capital M represents minor, and capital A or capital C is used to represent cofactor. Okay, now how to find the adjoint of a matrix? It's simple. If you have a matrix A, which is say A11, A12, that is first row, second column, then A13, same way A21, 22, 23, 31, 32 and 33. So this is your matrix. Now what is adjoint of A? So adjoint of A is nothing but transpose of the cofactors matrix. So if you find cofactors, right, as I said, cofactor of this position, I can or I'll write it as transpose of this matrix, which is C11, C12, C13. Again, in your book it is capital A11. You can go ahead and write that as well, right? I don't want to get confused, so I write C. Okay, so next is C21, C22, C23, C31, C32 and C33. So what is C11, C22 and C33? That is nothing but the cofactors, right? So transpose of that. That means adjoint of A will be, in this case, means you have to transpose means interchange rows and column. So C11, C21, C31, C12, right? C22, C32, C13, C23 and C33. This is the adjoint. Okay, we'll actually solve a problem, because just by writing this it may confuse you. So we'll first solve this. You should understand what is adjoint of A. It is transpose of the cofactor matrix. So you should find all the cofactors. So the important point is you should find all the cofactors, and then you arrange them, and then you transpose it, right? So let's solve a problem to actually understand, or to understand this more clearly. Okay, the questions which you will get here will be, generally they are 2 cross 2 matrix, but we will try to find adjoint of a matrix, adjoint of a 3 cross 3 matrix. So let's practice a little question in which you will have more scope of practice. So matrix is 1 3 3, then 1 4 3 and 1 3 4. This is your matrix. Now if you have to find the adjoint of A, so what do you have to do first? You have to find the cofactors first. So let's say what is C11, that is this. So this row and this column gone. 4 into 4, 16, minus 3 into 3, 9. So 16 minus 9 is 7, and this 7 has to be multiplied by whatever was here, that is, this is position 1 and 1, so minus 1 to the power, this will be actually what, this will be minus 1 to the power 1 plus 1, which is 2, into this 4 3 3 4 determinant. So this is nothing but minus 1 square is 1, and 4 into 4, 16, minus 9 is 7, so this is 7. So like that you have to find all the cofactors, right? So cofactor 1 2 means this 3, right? This position, you take this position, this is first row, second column, leave that, you will have 1 3 1 4, so that will be 4 minus 3 1, and into minus 1, so that will be equal to minus 1, right? Let's move to the next, that is C13. So C13 is, it will be minus 1 to the power 1 plus 3 4, so that means whatever you get positive, then take positive, you get negative, take negative. This is position 1 comma 3, first row, third column, 1 4 1 3, so that is 3 minus 4, that is minus 1, so even C13 is minus 1, correct? Okay, now C21, C21 is what? C21, that means second row, first column, this one. So what do you have? 3 3 3 4, that is 4 3s are 12, minus 3 3s are 9, 12 minus 9, that is 3, but this position here, for this position, or you can see here itself, this is 2 1, so 2 1 is 2 plus 1 is odd, so this will be minus. So minus of what? Minus of 3, that is C2 comma 1. Same way C2 comma 2, that is for the central element. So 1 3 1 4, I think somewhere else we had the same thing, so that will be 4 minus 3, that is also equals to 1, and the middle position minus 1 to the power plus 4, that is also positive. So A22 is 4, or C22 is 4. Next C23, okay, that means second row, third column, what is left? 1 3 1 3, so that is 3 minus 3 0. Okay, next C31, so C31, third row, first column, what is left? 3 3 4 3, 9 minus 12, that is minus 3, and this position is plus, so this is also minus 3. Okay, next C32, so third row, second column, what is left? 1 3 1 3, so that means that is also equals to 0, leave it as it is. Then you have C33, last element, what is left? 1 3 1 4, so 4 minus 3, that is 1, 3 plus 3 6, so minus 1 to the power 1. Now this is nothing but your cofactors for all the positions, right? Now what will be adjoint of A? Adjoint of A will be transpose of, if you arrange all these, right, in their own position. So adjoint of A is the first element 7, then minus 1, C1 2, right? Correct. Then minus 1, then you have minus 3, second row, first column, second row, second column 1, second row, third column 0, third row, first column minus 3, third row, second column 0, third row, third column 1. You actually have to find transpose of this, that will be the adjoint. So adjoint of A will be equal to 7 minus 3 minus 3 minus 1 1 0 and minus 1 0 7 minus 3 minus 1 1 0 and minus 1 0 1. This is the adjoint of A. Okay, now with adjoint, what is the purpose of adjoint? So we actually use adjoint, later I'll even prove it. So we actually use adjoint to find the inverse. And what is inverse of A? So A inverse is actually equals to 1 by determinant of A into adjoint of A. So this is the application of adjoint. That is why we had we found this adjoint. So you know what is adjoint now. Now what do you have to do? You have to use it to find the inverse. So for inverse, what do you need? You actually need this determinant of A. So find the determinant of A. If I expand it along first row, it will be 1 into 9 minus 12, that is minus 3, right? Then minus 3 into I'm expanding along first row, so this is 1, 4 into 4, 16 minus 9, that is 7, then minus 3 into 4 minus 3, that is 1, then 3 into 3 minus 4, that is minus 1. So this is actually 7 minus 3, which is equal to 1. So luckily this determinant is 1. It's not like always you will get determinant equal to 1. So that means what? That means A inverse in this case will be equal to adjoint of A itself. So this itself is the inverse of A, right? Okay, that is 7 minus 3 minus 1 1 0 minus 1 0 1. So this itself, in this case the adjoint itself is the determinant. So that is the use of adjoint. That is the application of finding adjoints, right? So now at least the questions in which we have to find the inverse, those questions can be done. So that is your exercise number 4.5. So till 4.5, right, you can till 4.4 you can do everything. In 4.5 you can actually solve all the questions where you have to find the inverse. Not on the properties of inverse, just about the inverse. That is where you just have to find the inverse, not the complete exercise, right? Where inverse can be found using adjoint, adjoint can be found using cofactors, and cofactors can be found using minors. So that's why we did minors, cofactors, use minors to find cofactors, use cofactors to find adjoint, and use adjoint to find inverse. Okay, so try this, try till exercise 4.5. In that you try to do all the questions where you just have to find the inverse, right? So that's all for today. Thank you.